Hey, welcome, Little Biscuits and Sun-Dried Tomatoes. It's your boy, Keith Malley. Welcome to Keith and the Girl. Today's guest,
Brandon
the
Collins.
great Brandon Collins. Hello, buddy. It's just the thing I say for the
uh,
listeners get it. Don't worry about it if you're new to the show. Brandon Collins, it's been too long.
it's true.
It was Hamda's fault. That's an easy thing I can tell the guests that somehow got lost in the mix. But you can follow Brandon at FrodoBlackens.com.
Yes.
Of course, we've talked about his podcast before. Medium Popcorn still going on. They're still making movies. You still got the bug, right?
Yeah, sun-dried tomatoes and little biscuits. I love that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, movies won't stop, so we won't stop watching them and picking them apart. We're almost done with our Harry Potter series recap, which has
Okay.
been painful for both my co-host and I, because they're not as precious as I remember them.
Right.
It's rough. It's rough going back. It's like when you watch an old television show that you used to like. I used to love watching Doug, and then I went back and rewatched as an adult. I'm like, oh, the reason why I connected with Doug is because we both needed therapy.
I was watching Charlie Brown and I'm like, kill that bitch. So it really
Yeah, yeah.
changes when you become an adult. What's her fucking problem? If I told you that I saw the very first Harry Potter only, and then only the very last one, meaning part two, not even part one, is that
Yeah.
blasphemy to you, or do you wish you had that power? Because
I
I'm
mean,
getting better at it.
that's insane.
Yeah.
But I kind of
Because I
wish I
got
could.
it. People are like, you're not going to get it. I'm like, I'm a grown adult. Trust me, I got it.
I kind
Horcrux
of
is
wish I had
just
been able
fine.
to watch it from that perspective because I wonder how I would piece together everything.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I love the book so much I could never do that. But
Okay.
I understand why. I get why people don't like Harry Potter. Like that's the thing is I give my co-host the pass. I'm like, I understand this isn't for everybody, but for
Right.
me, it came into my life at a good time and it stayed in my life as a consistent
I
thing.
love your podcast because you're not shy about spoilers. In fact, you say it in the
Yes.
beginning, along with other words that I can't repeat. But you are pretty clear.
Yeah,
Folks
yeah,
watching movies.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you make it clear, hey, we're going to spoil this for you. And then sometimes you'll do shows where you think you act like you're not going to spoil it, but you're like, all right, real quick, take a pause if you want. But anyway, in the third act, she dies. I'm like,
I'm
oh,
really
that's
bad
that's
at
the
that.
warning.
Our fans hate that about me. Yeah, I randomly will be like, "Yeah, guys, I don't want to spoil this because I want everyone to experience it." And
Right.
then 5 minutes later, I'll just like accidentally reveal the biggest spoiler possible.
Well, I don't want to, I don't want to take
I
numbers,
feel bad.
downloads away from you, but who would want to who wants to hear a podcast without spoilers but listen to it about a movie like
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, some
I'm
people
like,
like this.
that sounds like that would have been interesting.
I mean,
No,
some people like it being spoiled for them because either
I
they're
do,
not
I like
planning
it
on
being
seeing the
spoiled.
movie.
I want to know
Yeah,
that we both felt the same thing, but if you're describing something that I didn't even see and you're not spoiling it.
yeah, but there's some things that are like precious, right? Like there are like legit like sinners. We didn't like went into detail, but at first we were like very hesitant to like give away like some really cool visual stuff that like you got to see in the movie theaters to experience it. It's dope
Right.
as hell. And I think because of the quality of films lately, it's so hard to get those kind of moments where you're like, man, like this is what movie going's about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I actually like I've talked about this on the podcast before. 2018 to 2020, especially as like a Marvel fan, man, we took those times for granted because like seeing Black Panther in the movie theater first
Right.
opening weekend, like that just magical. And then Endgame. I remember like, my wife and I, we went a few other couples that love these movies. And like when they had the Avengers Assemble moment, some of us were just like, they did it. Like, how do you keep,
Right.
because it's already hard enough to like, write this shit and write 30 plus movies that lead to this moment, but they have all those actors. And I think only two recastings, like that was
Right.
incredible.
Does it fake bother you? It does fake bother me when I see these websites that go, the ending to Sinners explained. And I'm like, I think I got it, but obviously I'm not black. So there must be things I didn't get. But then you read the article and it's like, white people stole black people's music and culture and gives them things to take them away. And I'm like, no shit.
Some people do need to be walked through everything, and it's really fucking annoying. But it's also indicative of where we're at as a country.
Right.
I don't need to read those articles, like unless I'm listening to a podcast with a director and they like say something. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't get that, but awesome. You know what I mean?
Well, this is why your other project's so important too. History, drunk black history.
Yes.
And, people, the live shows, people get drunk, tell their kind of like Drunk History, but it's the black stories we, obviously, unfortunately, didn't really hear about.
Yep.
First of all, do people ever try to cheat? Are you like, yeah, you're not really drunk?
I wouldn't say they cheat, but they might be a little bit light,
Okay.
in their drinking, which is fine. I mean, it's mostly the audience that gets drunk. That's the
Oh,
fun part
okay.
about it.
Okay.
Especially now, like we do some fun things to really get the audience engagement. And so by the third guest, they're feeling real nice.
Right.
But yeah, we do get guests that like get drunk. But the thing is, we also want to be mindful that they don't get so drunk that they can't get home afterwards. Because I ain't got that kind
Right.
of budget, Keith, where I can give them private cars home and stuff. They got to take the train home.
Sure. Well,
So
this reminds me, I was looking at the other times you were on, and of course, like any guest, you can go to keithandthegirl.com/Brandon Collins and see the 5 times he was on Keith and the Girl before. And one of those times I see in show notes says you were drunk at Keith and the Girl, and then I guess you did a show that night.
Oh, yeah.
And had a fight with the audience, or an audience member went to punch you.
guy.
Do you remember this?
I remember this, yeah, because I got hammered at your marathon show, and
Right.
and then I walked over. I had to walk over to a show on 30th Ave that I was on, and I did my set, and then after me was a newer comic who like was really nervous, trying out some material. It was already like a rough environment because it's a bar or like what was that, Thursday night or something like that. And it's rough, right? And then this table just kept talking, and then they started kind of yelling at the comic and making them even more nervous. And so I was just like, yo, this guy's just bullying this comic. Like, this isn't cool. So the producer and me, like, blacked out. And I walked over him, and I basically, I told him to shut up. And I think I called him an orphan. And then before I know it, I'm flying across the restaurant because I got punched in the face.
Is orphan like a black term, like the opposite of cousin?
I don't know where it came from, man.
The opposite of brother. Hey,
I don't
orphan.
know if it's just like, I
What?
think I was like kind of like, who raised you? Like, you fucking orphan or something like that.
Okay.
And then, yeah. And then my wife was like, I mean, he might have been an orphan.
His parents just died,
Yeah.
and he wanted, he wanted some kind of comic
Or the
relief.
cry at the brown cat on 30th Avenue Astoria.
And then what? He was standing up while you guys were going at it.
No, I mean, he stood up and then he punched me. Yeah, it was very quick. And because I'm drunk, I don't even
Right.
realize what's about to happen until, it's over.
Okay, they right in the face.
Yes, yeah.
And what happens next? The show goes on.
No, the show was over after that.
Oh, he keeps
Yeah.
he keeps heckling the guy.
And then they kicked the guy out. And then they kicked the guy
Okay, good.
out. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. The first time you were on was back in 2014.
Oh, man.
The show was
young Brand.
Yeah, 1948 was the number. Way back then, than 2000. The title was "In Your White Face," like in your face.
Okay.
And I remember it was who's the dude with the 80 kids? That's not Elon Musk.
The 80 kids.
The guy, the MTV guy, Wildin' Out.
Oh, Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. He dressed up in whiteface for some kind of event. But that's fine, right?
Oh, yeah. We can.
I
do
would
that.
think so. Yeah, you're allowed to do anything. I would think nowadays. Let's see here. You were at the Keith and the Girl stand-up-a-thon in June of 2014.
Yes.
Again,
Comedy
you can.
Cellar, right?
Yeah, you can hear this at keithandthegirl.com/Brandon Collins. There was Mike Kaplan was there, Chris Laker, Mike Lawrence, your buddy Mike Brown, Catherine Heller, Micah Fox, John F. O'Donnell. Take a look at that. Episode 1992, Comedy Outlaws. That was you, the bad boys of comedy.
That was the name of my independent comedy group in high school, which is it's wild you brought that up because I just saw one of the founding members of that show this week in Detroit. Yeah.
Catching up nice.
Yeah, he just had a new daughter, Eleanor.
Oh.
She's beautiful, and he doesn't do comedy anymore, but he's still one of the funniest people on the planet.
How do you find you've been married now for what, 8 years almost?
Yep.
How do you find? I haven't talked to you since then in a real way. How are you finding a married life?
I love it, man. I love it. My wife is my best friend. She's my muse. She's my rock. Yeah, man. It's
Tatiana.
Yes, that's good memory, man.
Yeah, thank you. I listened to your show as well. Do you find this the movie Friendship? I love Tim Robinson. In fact, the other day I couldn't think of the name Paul Rudd. I love Tim so much. I'm like, Tim and this other fucking guy. He was an ant.
Yeah.
But I told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, do you want me to save this movie for you? Kind of surprised she said yes. She doesn't know of Tim the way I do, me and my buddy Tim.
She doesn't know Tim.
But she goes, yeah, save it for me. Next thing you know, she works. She's a mom, and she can't go go out so fast. Now I'm stuck not ever seeing it until it comes to TV.
Oh man,
You have that problem with your wife? Like, I
no,
shouldn't, even if it's on TV, like, I shouldn't have said nothing.
no, I don't. Well, we don't have that problem because we're film critics, so we get to see all the stuff in advance. So we get
Right.
like, so we make it a date night. It's like, oh, we got to invite to the Jurassic World screening. All right, date night. I say we don't have those issues,
Do you
unfortunately.
do you have to say yes to everything, or you stop being invited? You
That's
saw
a good. Ooh, that's a good
Minecraft in
question.
a movie theater. Explain this
Yes.
to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got invited to a press screening. Otherwise, I wasn't going to voluntarily go see that
But
insanity.
still, but still.
I mean, it's worth seeing because you get to be like one of the first people to be like, hey, yay or nay, if this is worth your
Okay.
time and stuff like that.
All right.
And sometimes they hook you up with like a big screen, concessions and stuff like that. It's cool.
Right.
But
Maybe you get some Roblox bucks or whatever.
yeah, but I will say, film critics are the worst audience members.
Oh yeah.
They're the worst, like, especially the pretentious ones. Like all they do is talk shit before the movie starts about the
Okay.
talent, about everything, and then
And they know everything that went wrong, right? Like they're
Exactly.
like it had 2 re-rates, and it
Yep.
wasn't. It was going to be Jason Statham as
And
Jack
they're
Black's
like, no,
buddy.
yeah, and it made me on Medium Popcorn be less critical. I think it's just more like,
Okay.
hey, here's my honest opinion about it. But like, I'm not digging in like at the creators and being like, oh, this person sucks or what have you. Like, it's not productive. After seeing
Right.
the way that these critics actually talk about talent, I'm like, never mind. No, I don't want
Gotcha. And what did you end up giving a Minecraft movie? The movie without children.
Minecraft. I think I give it a medium popcorn, which is like just above like positive.
Half.
You know,
Okay.
good.
Look at that.
Yeah, it was surprising how fun it was.
Did you not know at the time that you were allowed to throw popcorn when they mentioned lava chicken or whatever the fuck?
I did not know that. Yeah, but those kids went nuts, Keith.
They went nuts. They had to call cops some of these theaters without
Yeah, but, like-
exaggeration. And by the way, I saw a regular adult movie,
Yeah.
but I saw the theater was packed, and I realized it's for a Minecraft movie, but the kids were young adults. They weren't kids.
Yeah.
They're there to cause
Teenagers
trouble.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking weird.
Yeah.
Do you think you didn't watch it the right way because you didn't throw nothing?
No, I'm perfectly fine with how I watched.
Okay.
They gave us a little like a Minecraft foam swords and shit. It was all silly.
Well, why would they give kids that? What do they expect?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're allowed popcorn. I bet they
Fair
could
enough.
buy peanuts too if they wanted. Oh my God, that's fucking crazy. You were on episode 2177. The title was Tom Brady's balls for sale, nice and hairy. Get them while they're hot.
Jesus.
Sometimes kind of let me do the titles. I think that's what happened. That was, of course, the ball deflating. And
Yes. Okay.
Tom Brady, what? He wasn't allowed to play 4 games. Not the end of that season. He could win the Super Bowl that
Yep.
season. The beginning of the start of the next season, where he can make up for it when he is allowed to play.
Yep.
He got caught cheating, but will punish you by not letting you play some games that won't necessarily matter at a time in the future. Okay. Well, lesson fucking learned. All right. We have your cell phone, and it says, yes, deflate the balls. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't remember that. Yeah, where's your cell phone now? Oh, I burn it. I do that often. I'm a celebrity. Well, that makes a lot of fucking sense. All right. All right. Do you play Wordle? You're a smart guy. You do New York Times Wordle?
I don't do Wordle. No, I occasionally play with some word games on my phone, but yeah, I don't do anything consistently like that. Except for Duolingo.
I think it's making me dumber. I don't think some of these words are words they want me to find. The word was curio the other day.
Oh yeah, that's a spell in Harry Potter Legacy.
Oh, I didn't know they did spells.
Yeah. You can play the game and you got to do Curio, Accio, all that.
No,
stuff.
I didn't know New York Times Wordle did spells.
Oh, of
But
course,
okay.
man. Who do you think writes those things? The Warlocks. What are you talking about?
Maybe I did have to see those movies. Okay, all right. I look at you're in New York right now. You're in Brooklyn, right?
Yes. I'm in Queens.
You're in Queens, excuse me. And I'm in Charlotte, and I sometimes check the New York's weather, and it's hotter there than here, and just a couple degrees, but it does please me. It's like you ever go on vacation, you check where you left, and you're like, I hope there's a tornado.
Oh, God.
I mean, nobody dying, God forbid, but yes, I would like to know wherever I left is having it bad then.
Yeah, I do that, especially when I was bi-coastal, going back forth between New York and LA.
Right.
I love like seeing like if I were going to LA, yeah, the weather in New York is going to be terrible. It's just going to rain for the next 2 weeks. I'm
Good.
going to sunny LA to hang out by a pool.
It's a bonus.
Yeah.
The energy company here is Duke Energy in Charlotte. Just got this message today. Successive days of extreme temperatures are driving unusually high energy demand. Yeah, well, that's why we pay you. In our area, and available power reserves are currently very limited. You can help us protect the electric grid and avoid possible temporary outages by cutting back on non-essential energy. What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah.
Just running the snow cone machine with no ice? If I'm
Some
using
people
it,
do
it's
it.
essential.
You know what's funny? It's like, wasn't there like a Simpsons episode where Homer's like, they get a notification like that,
Right.
and Homer has everything on. It's I feel like there's more Homers than there are us, Keith, in this world,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Try to avoid energy from 3 to 8 p.m. Okay. Your actions can make a difference. Yeah, I'm going to be the weirdo. Sure.
I'm gonna be weird. I'm not doing anything in the darkness.
Everybody's sweating a little bit, right? Doing their
Yeah.
part? Because y'all look kind of comfortable here in Charlotte. Interesting. Interesting. All right. I will tell you something that kind of goes with movies, but I'm getting a little nervous and I want to make a public announcement. Almost a plea, if you will. There's an Instagram account and it's called Cockbuster Video. Okay. And it's a clever play on Blockbuster Video, as you can imagine. And what this guy does, I'll show you how it's clever. What he does is he changes the cover of VHS tapes, through Photoshop, you assume, and then changes the image sometimes, adds some common dicks, and then changes the title. For example, The Mummy, he has Brandon Fraser come all over him, and instead of The Mummy, it says The Cummy. And I'm like, this guy's good. That's how I start my day. Fuck Wordle. I'm over that. For example, here's another example.
You're fighting.
It finds me. The squirt locker. Oh, I never would have thought of that. Okay. And,
Don't be so hard on yourself, Keith.
Well, that's sweet to say, but you know what? It's like, I could have thought of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Did ya? You know what I mean? No Country for Old Men. No Country for Old Men. Here's what he did. You ready?
Yep.
No commie in my bed. How do you even think of this shit? There's got to be a team, right? It can't be one dude.
I think it's one dude. A lot of times.
How about this? Ready? Ready for this one?
Okay.
You know Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah? You know the Dark Nut? How the fuck does he even think of this shit? The Dark Nut. Like, come. But here's what made me nervous. This happened today, and I know it's just one day, but it really threw me.
Okay.
It's Ghostbusters, but the ghosts, like slime or that kind of thing, is obviously sperm, but with faces on it. And the Ghostbusters are covered in cum. And it says Gooch Blasters.
That's not the best.
I don't understand.
Isn't it Gooch the butt?
It's really making me nervous.
Okay.
I don't even want to know what it is. Maybe it's that in between place, the tank.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't care. And why would you put that out? And now I'm curious: is he going through a divorce? Is he thinking he could just coast now because he had such a great run? I want to go somewhere and write 1 star as encouragement. Because Gooch Blasters? Brandon, what the fuck?
Hey, maybe they had a rough Thursday.
I want to have him on this show. I bet he has like a real smart like English accent and shit, right? But
I was actually thinking, what if it was like a really horny teenage girl that's just like really bored, just like Gooch Master? It's just like, all right, I'll come to dinner, Dad.
I'm thinking whoever the genius is behind Cockbuster Video was like, I'm going to go out today, but hey, brother, maybe just it's not that hard. And then maybe he checks the internet and he's like, hey, I'm getting a lot of hate mail. What's new? And he sees his account on Instagram and he's like, Gooch Blasters? What? This was gonna be a family legacy. I handed it to my brother for 2 fucking seconds. He rates Gooch Blasters. Holy fuck. I would be like, hey, aren't you the guy that came up with coming Las Vegas? Like leaving Las Vegas? Sterling Sploogelus came? What the fuck is Gooch Blasters? Oh well, let's hope it works out. I mean, hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Hmm.
I think Jesus said that.
Yep.
But
And Wayne Gretzky.
and Wayne Gretzky, right? But come on, man, don't try to be somebody you're not. There's no way you had entered on Gooch Blasters when you're the one who did no cummy in my bed and thought it cut the muster. There's no fucking way. Anyway, he's anti-Trump. I get the vibe, so that's good. But yeah, yeah. Are you nervous about the end of the world? Speaking of Trump, and let's talk a little bit about Iran.
Man, I'm embracing it. I'm like, hey, come here.
Yeah,
Black folks, we
right.
we're
Quit
not nervous.
teasing.
We know this shit.
Right,
we already
right.
see it. Y'all didn't see
That's right. We're learning.
it.
We're like, oh, what can we do? A new holiday? Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. Did you see Trump wrote during Juneteenth, and he thinks there's too many
Too many
holidays.
holidays, yeah.
What a fucking coincidence! On Juneteenth, there's too many holidays. Not on Flag Day when there's a $45 million parade with the celebrating the 250th anniversary of the military.
He is
Hey,
the yeah.
I was just going to say, how about some free school lunch for kids who need it? How about FEMA? How about weather research? How about the CDC? No, 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 no money for that. But how about a tank? And here's something. Yeah, you got to pay for so many things, the troops, et cetera. It's everything that goes along with it. You also have to pay, nobody thinks of this, for the fucking roads that tanks break.
Yep. Yeah, man. No one knows anything. That's why I'm teaching Black history.
Thank you. Trump wrote, too many non-working holidays in America. He wrote this, of course, on June 19th.
Yep.
It is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Really? I think we like holidays.
Yes, they do.
You can consider Juneteenth codified.
When you
even
read that, you can tell he wants to say these blackies and all. Like,
Yeah,
he wants
no
to say
kidding.
the craziest shit.
Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change if we're going to, make America great again. How you going to close for Christmas, Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know where this ends, so that's why I'm just going for the ride.
Right, I hear you. Biden, of course, made Juneteenth a holiday in
Yes.
2021, and
24, yep.
Biden shows up for what it's worth at a black church and gives a speech, and then you have Trump rating, "What is this stupid fucking holiday?"
Yeah.
How can things be nuanced? How can we sit down and have a conversation with the other side when you're a kid and you see these two pictures? Let's say, don't you know who's good?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you know what side is probably a little more good?
Even though I do believe Biden at that speech, he started the speech off by saying, "Now, Bill Cosby was a good friend of mine."
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no. Still today, said Biden during at this church service, some say to me and you, some say, that's Trump. Trump is everybody saying, Biden being
Yep.
subtle is some say. Some say to me and you that this doesn't deserve to be a federal holiday, Juneteenth. They don't want you to remember the moral stain of slavery. Biden also chided what he referred to as ongoing efforts to erase history from our textbooks and our classrooms. I mentioned this the other day. The Naval Library, banned some books.
Yes.
For example, a lot of black books, a lot of books about black history.
Yep.
Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. No joke. You can still get Mein Kampf there. No exaggeration.
Yeah,
but not the Diary of Anne Frank.
It's so blatant how bad this is and how much they troll. I mean, during Pride Month, they're renaming a ship that's named after Harvey Milk.
Yes. Yeah, and trying to get rid of Harriet Tubman's name as well. No joke.
It's all to troll to
Thurgood
It's
Marshall.
all cruel. Yeah, it's cruel.
Yeah.
Just fucking cruel, man. And, I don't know how we reconcile that. I know we do comedy and we make jokes
Right.
and stuff like that, but I that's what worries me. Like that's the one thing that truly worries me, because when we can't reconcile that and when we can't, be kind to one another at all, I don't know how we rebuild when all this shit inevitably falls apart.
I was saying this literally just the other day, whenever you think just the other day is. And I'm like, yeah, what is the point at the end of the day? Why right now am I literally doing this talk? And because you're not going to, these MAGA outfits, the new KKK hoods, you're not going to convince these weirdos, but maybe I'm talking to a young Keith Malley who grew up in the country and only knows what he's told like it's North fucking Korea, and you assume these people are less than, and then you hear maybe somebody on the radio, the future Keith Malley, going, but why are they telling you to hate these people, whoever these people are? And you go, okay, that's another opinion. You know, I heard, not that he's political or necessarily on the right side of things, but I remember hearing Andrew Dice Clay on a bus with headphones on, a cassette tape, and I'm like, I didn't know you could say this shit. So, you know, even this is like, oh, okay. Even though, you know, somehow somebody with no money in my hometown bought a Tesla truck, it doesn't mean they're right. Let me look into this a little bit. Let me use a little common sense. I'm smart enough to know Hound of the Baskervilles is a boring fucking book in school. Maybe I'm smart enough to know some other things. Maybe. I got an F on Hound of the Baskervilles. I'm like, who cares? It didn't happen. Yeah.
How'd you get an F?
I don't know. Apparently I couldn't follow what the fuck was going on.
You can even write your name on the paper. I mean, come on,
no, well, you don't get free points for any time you write your name on something.
You know how hard it is to get an F?
They were not pleased. I didn't even know how many fucking hounds there were. Apparently there's only one. Oh, well. At another point, Biden pointed to efforts during his administration to rename military bases named after Confederate military officers, a process mandated by Congress. What are we doing now? He says we're reinstating those names. Yeah, let the losers look like it wins. You think all we have is history, but man, looks like they're going to be changing it. Vote and make sure it's over fucking whelming. Like when you're in New York City, for example, and you're like, how much does my vote count? First of all, voting, I find it exciting. And I'm not joking. And I mean, you walk in and I want to see who the volunteer that's a little too old to be there. How are they sleeping at the door? Are they leaning back, their head on the wall of the school? Do they have their foot on a desk? Like, that's a story.
Are they hanging out like Joe Cool on the side of the school looking kind of creepy? Like, why are you there, Snoopy?
With sunglasses? You may. Proceed.
Will you rewatch those, man? It's really creepy.
Yeah.
There's no reason for Snoopy to be at that school.
I know what you mean.
And he's under an alias. Like, what are you doing?
But this is what happens. A Trump can win when our side doesn't give too much of a fuck. Make it overwhelming. Holy shit. New York City, 98% voted a certain way. Make it that. Make it fucking nuts that you can't fudge numbers and you can't lie about the past. Now, so that's, quite frankly, that's why I moved to Charlotte, to make a fucking goddamn difference.
And we appreciate you.
You can have your cool air on all the time. And my girl happens to be here. Donald Trump says zero border crossing for the month for Trump. This is Trump writing this. Versus 60,000 for sleepy, crooked Joe Biden. Does he know he won?
You would
know it's over.
The way he talks about Biden and even Obama at times, like you were like, dude, it's over. Like,
right.
You know, like, but like, you know, that's the whole Kendrick model now. It's just keep beating the corpse of your enemy. Right. It doesn't matter that they haven't breathed in 20 years.
Right. Like, Drake's like, okay.
He's not even okay anymore. He's mush.
Right.
Just cartilage and blood and just stomping. It's like, aren't you tired?
Right. What's the note again, everybody? Ah, you motherfucker. Sleepy, crooked Joe Biden, a man who lost the 2020 presidential election by a landslide. Okay. Mm-hmm. Biden was grossly incompetent, and the 2020 election was a total fraud. The evidence is massive and overwhelming. I won't tell you what it is, but trust me, I know. A special prosecutor must be appointed. This is brand new. This is a brand new... It's June of 2025. This is new.
Tax dollars. He's going to fucking
say. This cannot be allowed to happen again in the United States of America. Let the work begin. What this crooked man and his corrupt cronies have done to our country in 4 years is grossly indescribable. Make America great again. White power is implied. He also tweeted out, this is now, it's weird that I have to keep saying this. Do you find this when you tell somebody the news? Totally true. What I'm going to tell you is another totally true fucking story.
Yeah.
The great B-2 pilots, he tweeted, or social media, the great B-2 pilots, have just landed safely in Missouri. You know, bombing Iran, the 3 big bombs. Yep. Thank you for a job well done. Donald J. Trump, but Donald is spelled instead of an L, a K. He's rating this. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Send. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
we all
that's
make mistakes. Sometimes I write IE. I forget.
yeah.
KEI. It's KEI. Holy shit. Will there be Iranian retaliation in the United States from Iranian Americans? Do you
I
wonder
be-
that? Living in New York City, do you
yeah,
wonder that?
yeah. I'm my wife is freaking out on our way back from Detroit yesterday.
Yeah.
She's like, we're going back to New York City, one of the most susceptible cities in our country for anything that, whether it's a cyber attack, an actual attack, like nuclear, what have you. It's scary, man.
I didn't know this. LA, I guess some people call it what Tehrangelis, like Tehran, whatever the fuck. Because over 500,000 people, 500,000 Iranian Americans live there, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica. So,
Mm.
people are nervous there's going to be retaliation. San Jose, San Diego, anything sand. That makes sense. They
Yeah.
love sand.
Mm.
But yeah, New York City, Manhattan, Great Neck, Long Island, big Iranian population. So
Mm.
yeah, if these people want to get pissed off, maybe my move isn't the worst idea.
Well, I mean, this is the dark side of history, right, Keith? It's like when you know too much,
Right.
because we've seen stuff like this in history, and those locations you just called out.
Yeah.
We know what this government especially could possibly do with those communities, because we've done this in American history before, and so it's my drum bike history show. Like, yes, it's humorous, and but we drink because, one, the history is heavy, and two,
Right.
when you look at the current state of things, it's like, well, all we could do is take a sip and hope for the best at this
Right.
point.
Right.
It's crazy, and it didn't have to be this way. It did
Right.
not have to be this way. That's the unfortunate part.
Is it does have to do with I think this is interesting. Is half of America this hateful and it was just being held down? Or do people just follow the boss? Like when I was a waiter,
Yeah.
if you had a cool boss, you had cool workers. But one restaurant, my coworkers anywhere else would have been normal. But this boss put up signs like only trust me, your boss Nico. Do not trust your coworkers. And we couldn't be seen, talking to each other even if we're folding napkins and the restaurant is, closed after lunch. And guess what would happen? Fellow coworkers, otherwise normal human beings, would turn me in if I accidentally dropped a glass and broke it, and I'd have to pay wholesale.
Jeez.
No, I'd have to pay retail. I'd have to pay retail.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you turning me in? And it's like they gave you that mentality that that's what you do here.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you know what I'm asking?
I know. I'm the optimist in me wants to say no. I mean, we're not that hateful. It's
Right.
just that a lot of people are confused. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are, unfortunately, because they can't probably afford mental health services like therapy and things like that. They're like, I need someone to save me. And because Trump was out there all the fucking time saying, I can save you, I can fix this, just let me get back in there. I think a lot of people went that
Right.
way. But I will say, the more and more I see, it could just be social media, man. Like, that's not real. That's not the real world. But like, it's telling me, yes, we are that hateful.
Yeah.
So I don't know which world is the reality anymore. To be honest,
That's why voting is so important. I think what I'd like to think, I think this is best case, is that so many people are so stupid, and when you have the leader that is on the side of good as opposed to bad or evil, they'll just go that way because people are dum-dums. So
yes.
try to get in the good people so that dum-dums just go, I guess this is what we do.
But it
And
is hard
now
to be
we're
good than
told
bad.
hate. And it's like, I guess this is what we do. We hate.
Yeah. But it is harder to be good than bad, though, because in order to be good and to go where we need to go in society, there are some people that aren't going to benefit as much from these systems as they used to.
Right.
And that's okay, because if everyone is able to thrive equally, then isn't that great for the country that we're all supposedly so happy to be in?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you ever do stand up and get in your own head and be like, what is the fucking point? Oh shit, did I zone out for an hour or have a second?
I think I used to, back when I used to do those shows, like in the back of like a a coffee shop where
Right.
you're just like talking to, you know, because I do a lot of stories in my stand up. So I'm talking about a vulnerable moment, and then I hear
Right.
the rose cappuccino with extra foam is ready. And just like in my head, I'm like, should I just end it now? Like,
Right.
should I just walk out into the street and see what happens?
Why is there a heckler now? Shit.
I mean, I've never been
You're
heckled except by machines.
right. And ice machines, coffee machines. I mentioned Chris Lambert was on the show fairly recently. Your buddy.
Yes,
You're
yes.
producing his show this the end of this week, correct?
Yes, June 27th, 7 p.m. at Caveat NYC.
Do you find you produce shows? Obviously, you produce shows also that aren't necessarily your own.
Yes.
Does it stress you that more, less, the same? Like, man, I hope he does good because I'm the fucking producer. Not even that you'll look
No.
bad. Like somehow he'll blame you.
No. I stress more about my shows because I give them the blueprint of what I find to be successful, and that's what they hired me for, right? And so
Right.
sometimes people follow it, sometimes they maybe do half steps, and sometimes people don't commit at all. And then I'm like, well, that's what happened.
Okay.
I mean, I agree to produce these things because I believe in the talent. But it's, you know, as you know, in New York, the hustle culture, what you got to do to get to certain levels of success.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people just don't want to do all the work. Like, you know, as a producer and like someone who does a lot of marketing, I spend hours posting online, and that's
Right.
incredibly monotonous work. But that's like one of the key ingredients to my success, and people just don't want to do that.
Right. Do you get
know what I
upset like when they went, hey, podcast, you have to do video now. Hey, video podcast, you have to do clips now. Are you like, can you quit inventing new shit, you motherfuckers?
It is a lot. It is a lot, especially for like media popcorn. Like, luckily, we have a great producer, Yuvia, who helps us a lot with that stuff. But there's a lot of like programs that do that for you now, where it's not so laborious. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass, dude.
I remember when we had COVID, and you know, so that's when we switched to Zoom. And a woman popped up, and she was dressed to the nines. And I'm like, "You going somewhere after this? You just coming back from somewhere?" No. I'm like, "We don't have to do this anymore. What are you doing? Why are you?" It's a blessing. You can be in your pajamas, and if we all do it, it's cool.
Yeah.
God damn it. God damn it.
Stop trying.
Right. I heard about Chris Lambert from Rod and Karen Morrow. They do our VIP show, of course. Yeah.
Shout out to Black Guy Tips. A bunch of their fans came out this weekend. So thank you.
Great show and such cool, supportive fans. I was fairly recently in Charlotte. I was at a live show of theirs, and they're very warm and inviting. Like everybody felt like they knew each other, but I didn't necessarily know these guys because I haven't been to live events in Charlotte. Yeah, I love their audience, and you can definitely judge a show by its audience.
100%. 100%.
KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. We do a weekly wrap-up show. We'll talk behind Brandon's back, of course, coming up. I saw online, Rod wrote on Instagram, very intensely paying attention to AAA baseball at tonight's game. He was at AAA game. Yep. We are in the building, a picture of him and his wife, Karen. I'll be breaking it down later on our podcast, #Focused. And then Karen, separately on her account, showed a picture of Rod on his phone playing solitaire and wrote, "Oh, locked in, huh?"
Stephen A. Roderick over here.
That's right. Rod wrote on his, first of all, I have nothing if respect for my wife, but however, this is egregious behavior. Karen, I was doing this during the time between when the pitcher throws the ball and when the batter hits it. So you can get your sports news there. Do you follow basketball? We just had the last game. Not at all. Is it because, for me, way too many fucking points. Two, miss.
There's too many teams.
2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2. Oh, surprise. It was close. The score was 103-91. Maybe that's not close at all. What do I know? The Thunder, Oklahoma City Thunder, they left from, I believe, Seattle, right? To Oklahoma, have won their first NBA title since the franchise moved, okay? With a win over the Indiana Pacers. And I saw a little clip where the Pacers coach or owner, Rick Carlisle, he said, all I know is what I'm focused on right now is that the Thunder have written on their buses already the 2025 champions on their 3 buses, the balls, right? And he's like, oh, that's pretty presumptuous. Yeah. I think it fucked with them. I think it did get in their heads like, oh, you can legally do that? Fuck you. And I think it threw off some players. um, let's see here. What else did I? Tyrese Halliburton. Not that I know these people. Halliburton. That's a different thing, isn't it? Came into Game 7 playing through pain. This is on Indiana's side. Playing through pain after suffering a right calf strain in Game 5. In the first quarter, Halliburton appeared to suffer a significant injury in his right leg when he tried to make a move. He was not able to return. That's the thing, too. And when there's one dude on the whole team. Now, I know there's a Tom Brady and whatnot, but it's hardly ever in football only one dude.
Yeah, in basketball, if there's just one guy that's making all the points and they get injured in any way, oh, yeah, you're screwed.
Did you fake it into it all when the New York Knicks were in it for a second?
I did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah? That's funny?
Oh, man, like, Knicks, yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, I was,
like
comedy shows, like, talking up top, like, doing the most general references to get some laughs.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know anything. I think Patrick Ewig's still in the fucking, I just call him Patrick Ewig instead of Ewig. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how bad it is.
And they're waiting to bring him out. I did see some clips of the New York Knicks, and they'd put like Kim Kardashian and Cardi B with their tits out, like underneath the basket. And I guess that's supposed to throw off the other team, but doesn't it throw off your team? But I do remember, like, I'm into football and the Pittsburgh Steelers specifically. And in the third quarter, to get the team riled up, if they're losing, for whatever reason, they play the song Renegade. I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. And I don't know, it gets these weirdos, idiot jacked up. So whatever team we were playing, they beat us. And it turns out one of the secrets, supposedly, was that during practice, they would play Renegade so that they're not surprised when the song pops up. And the coach said it sincerely helped. So does the Knicks ask Cardi B and Kim Kardashian to come into the locker room and be like, show everybody your tits, please, for the city? So they're used to it. I got to motorboat you, Cardi B, just so, everybody knows it's not a big fucking deal.
Well, I think when you play for the Knicks or the Lakers, I think you're so used to star power that you're not surprised anymore. I think it is a mind fuck for your opponents, right? Because if you're from Toronto, the Toronto Raptors, you don't have any hot celebrities up there. So when you're around Jack Nicholson and Kim Kardashian and Timothy Chalamet, you're digging it. You're surprised. You're starstruck.
Yeah, it was by the way, I do remember it was the Ravens that did that little dirty trick. And that should be illegal, fucking with somebody else's song. Isn't that like sneaking in and seeing a playbook? Yeah,
but they're called the Ravens, The Ravens would never have good intentions.
Yeah, I didn't read that book either. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are getting a pay raise.
Yes, they are.
A 400% pay raise. It was announced on the TV show.
Peanuts, yeah.
America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I wonder if it's more offensive. Like, of course, you're happy for a 400% raise, but when you get it, are you like, how about an apology too? What the fuck?
I mean, they definitely deserve it. I went to a Netflix event here in the city a few weeks ago. They performed, and they've been doing some tricks where I was like, my high school team could never. So congratulations, ladies.
Let's see here. They made about $75,000 annually before, so that'll go up to about $300,000. $15 to $20 an hour, $500 for appearances. They had to buy their own makeup and their own Ozempic, so they say, "Hey, we should have a little bit more money." It's only fair.
No, but a lot of them have full-time jobs. The Netflix series is pretty effective in showing what their life is like. A lot of them have full-time jobs, and they had to cover a lot of expenses themselves, and they got paid barely anything. So to have their likeness used so much by Dallas,
sure.
I definitely think that it's more than worth it. People know the cheerleaders more than they know the players.
Right. And I mean, for all the weirdos out there jacking off to you, you got to make easily $100,000. Easily. Come on.
In this economy,
hello,
with AI, Keith, absolutely.
Yeah. Champion eater Joey Chestnut is returning to the Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest after being banned last year.
Wasn't he banned?
He was banned last year for promoting Impossible Foods, a plant-based food company.
Interesting.
Yeah, of vegetable hot dogs. In America, we got DEI food now. What the fuck? What is this bullshit? This event means the world to me. It's a cherished tradition. He wrote on X, a celebration of American culture and a huge part of my life. We're devastated to learn that Joey Chestnut has chosen to represent a rival brand, said Major League Eating, that sells plant-based hot dogs rather than competing in the 2024, this is back in 2024, and the 2024 Nathan's Famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. But on Monday, Chestnut pledged his allegiance to Nathan's Famous, the restaurant chain. So he did his own thing on Netflix, him and that the Asian competitor that he's always up against, Takara Kobayashi, destroyed him. But you'd also think like that gives him more attention and I would assume more money. But this guy's the real fucking deal. And he goes, no, my heart is at Nathan's in the fucking hot sun, fucking with 20 people around me losing and throwing up and shit. That's the real me. I don't need to be, coddled by Netflix. I'm a real American, goddammit. Good for him. While I have and continue to partner with a variety of companies, he said, including some in the plant-based space, these relationships were never a conflict with my love for hot dogs. To be clear, Nathan's is the only hot dog company I've ever worked with. I still don't have the answer to this, why there was a problem.
Huh.
He's saying I didn't. Well, you should have been clearer. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Impossible just like tagged him with some stuff as a collaborator on Instagram. He accepted by accident. And he's just like,
Right.
Wait, my whole career's over?
Right. I mean, maybe he's confused too. His brain is all preservatives, Chestnut has won.
Never mind.
Chestnut has won the mustard yellow belt 16 times. Once ate a world record 76 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes in 2021. Currently ranked first in the world of competitive eating. Period. So he eats other shit.
He has
not a vegetable
diarrhea,
in sight,
right?
What's that?
He has like explosive diarrhea. Right?
He must.
I can't imagine what your bowel movements are like after a competition like this.
How do you be his girlfriend? You're like, we're not fucking tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight.
It's just smelling hot dogs.
Oh no, yeah, that comes out.
Yeah,
that comes out everywhere. Labor Day, there was a Chestnut versus Kobayashi. I saw that. It wasn't close. You do need more people because once you see the one guy's beating the one guy,
it's just over. Yeah.
Pan around and see people throwing up from lemonade and shit. He says, stay hungry. I want to take a quick break, but I do want to talk with you if you have the time about the 50 Cent and Diddy or Diddy in general, more of that and a little movie section. Do you have a little more time?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Give me 1 second. You know what? I do want to talk movies with you and make sure that I can get this in on time. So I'll save the Diddy stuff and we'll do rape another day. Let's
talk about Diddy putting applesauce in everything, including burgers, like psychopath.
I did like part one, the beginning stuff, and that's the death penalty. He's putting applesauce on cheeseburgers.
Maniacal.
And apparently the jury was like, ugh, like not the soccer ball kick to the head in the fucking lobby of a hotel, but he does what? Applesauce. So we'll get to part two of that later this week, but it looks like the prosecution's done. Then it'll be the defense's turn. They apparently only have two separate witnesses, whatever that is going to be, and we'll probably be done by July 4th is the plan.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Where do you stand? We're not sure yet, right? The information isn't out.
He did all that.
All the information isn't out. Once you see the video, isn't that the end of it?
I just feel like I need to know, like, after he's convicted, I have to have a conversation with the community. We got to decide about the Biggie music. Like, is it cool? Are we like going to be able to play the songs he produced without any issues, or is this R. Kelly territory? Do we like cancel? Do we stop listening?
Has R. Kelly been canceled? I mean, in the black community,
I have heard a few folks say they've heard him at recent weddings and stuff, but like for years there was no R. Kelly at parties or gatherings and stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
Once Michael Jackson's still going on and on, I don't know who. No one.
That's a different level, though, man. You got to go from "I Want You Back" from childhood Michael to "Beat It," Billie Jean, to even towards the end of his life. You rock my world. People still rock with that record, man. It's hard.
And it's also different because it's a totally different race, right? All right. So anyway, talking about the, you know what? Let's talk about the Diddy stuff after all, because how much do you follow?
I mean, I've like checking in here and there, but like it's there's bigger things happening in the world. So it's just like, oh, Diddy was a bad person. You don't say.
Donald Trump has an opinion. He might pardon
Pardon. Yeah.
Diddy if it happens to happen because anything for attention.
Even if
Diddy
that
said,
happens, Diddy just goes away. Like he's not going to be back in entertainment. It's over.
right, I agree.
Yeah, it's
Hope.
over. You can't.
And 50 Cent is saying, hey, I'm going to talk to Trump and make sure Trump understands that Diddy never liked Trump because, like, 50 Cent really obviously hates Diddy. He wants the worst to happen.
And he's also a big troll too. Like I respect the consistency.
I hope Trump knows that Diddy said some really bad things about him. It's not okay. I'm going to reach out. It's not okay. Like, again, like you're saying, Trump, like, I'm sorry, Mr. Trump, but I don't find it okay that you got into politics and he started talking shit about you. Therefore, I say keep him in prison.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out to Trump so he knows how I feel about this guy. Donald doesn't take well to disrespect and doesn't forget who chooses to go against him. How funny is that? Let me tell you something about Brandon. No, Brandon, I'll speak for you. Brandon does not like it when you call him a bitch, and that's what this person's doing. Right, buddy?
Yep.
Oh, okay, if you say so. Donald doesn't take well to disrespect and doesn't forget who chooses to go against him while working tirelessly to make America great again. There is no room for distraction. He would consider pardoning anyone who was being mistreated, not Puffy Daddy. Donald Trump said, look, nobody's asked, but I know people are thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking.
You didn't do the hands.
Right.
Keith, you got to always do the hands.
I haven't spoken to Diddy in years. He used to really like me a lot. This is Trump. I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me. I think it would. I think 50 Cent is right. And I think it would have an impact on you specifically, Trump.
Can we also point out that the president of the United States said busted up?
Right. Yeah, I think it would matter.
We're an idiocracy.
So here's the latest with the Diddy trial. Like I said, the prosecution will be done probably by the time you hear this.
Yep.
We should be done at the beginning of next month. Have a verdict, most likely. The female assistant, Capricorn Clark. She was talking about when she worked for Diddy, and she was punched about. One time he accused her of stealing from him, and Diddy would be violent towards her and make her take multiple lie detector tests. And I picture, like, you ever, like, you're desperate for a job, and Diddy goes, if I ever think something's up, I give people lie detector tests. Well, I don't see why that would be a problem.
Yep.
I didn't know they came with fists, but okay. And then it's like, oh, it turns out you're telling the truth. All right, I said I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see. So here's what it seems to me, that the defense is doing that bullshit. Why did you stay so long if it was so abusive? A lot of these jury members are older. Do they not get the news that it's 2025 and we know why women do stay in relationships? Why did you say on Instagram that you adore him? We don't know why by now. That can confuse people.
Yeah, but to your point, I think the prosecution did a really good job from what I followed in explaining how powerful Diddy was. If you were remotely interested in being in the music industry,
right,
it was very easy to exploit talent, and he did it to the maximum level. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about one of the most famous producers in music history. So yes, people, if they think that they're in a potential position where they could piss him off and get blackballed by the industry, they're going to stick around and take whatever abuse.
Well, I hope people understand that in the jury. A former stylist said they saw Cassie get beat. Well, I did too. Yeah. And Diddy got reprimanded for doing this in court, but somebody would say, like, oh, he beat me. And he'd, like, really shake his head egregiously and be like, and look at the jury like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, you can't do that. Secondly, I saw the one tape that you did that. This statement isn't laughable.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you
And he's already
probably
lied
did.
about it before, so it's not
Right.
like, yeah, it's a pattern of behavior.
Former assistant went by the name Maya, changed her name for this case. She saw the abuse. She was also sexually assaulted herself multiple times. And then one of the defense lawyers says, "You got a lawyer whenever this trial was about to come up. Are you in it for a money grab?" And then the prosecution goes, "Objection," and the lawyer or the judge goes, "Yeah, sustained." What the fuck? Like, hey, just throwing it out there because we
Hmm.
got some old people. Maybe they'll be confused. Are you trying to be woke? What? Objection. Hey, sustained. Well,
I
it's
mean,
like
that's what they're
nothing.
hired for, right? I don't
Yeah.
know how you sleep at night, but probably
Yes.
on top of their thousands of dollars.
Man, but how do you even find an asshole like you to marry?
Mm,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's weird, but
Maybe they're not married. That's why they're so angry, Keith.
I guess so. I guess so. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Oh. Yeah, but you praised him on social media. Yeah, you gave a heart emoji to your boss. Yeah, I don't know. He's very fucking violent. I might want to
he
say
also
some good things in public.
he also took my phone and did it for me.
Right, right. That's right. Oh, you don't think he made me sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. This person Maya, somehow it came out that she told somebody she had a dream that Diddy saved her from R. Kelly, and so the prosecution is or the defense is trying to say that means something. Like, how are you scared of him if in a dream he saved you from R. Kelly? I don't know. It was a dream. He had an umbrella.
That's
What the fuck do I know?
oh, God.
And
He
this
pulled me
whole
out of that bathroom.
right, and the hotel manager that went on the
Oh
stand.
yeah, yeah.
What a piece of dog shit. First of all, he's like, yeah, I had a file on this. I guess he's going for an immunity deal being part of this bullshit. But the hotel manager's like, we had a file on him, keep an eye on him. One time he got a $500 charge for baby oil all over the fucking place. First of all, only $500? I'm being fucking serious. I've been in Airbnbs. They charge 500 if they catch me smoking inside. What the fuck? Everything's dripping baby oil
That's
and
crazy. Yeah.
what the fuck? And by the way, you have a clue what's going on.
Yes.
It's like Western Union. They know about these Nigerian scams and people getting ripped off and they play dumb. They know, and there's a follow up they can do about it. This hotel manager
Yeah.
knew something was fucking up.
Yeah, the Western Union clerks, when they see an old white lady coming to send
Yeah.
$200 to Sabazan in whatever country, they should know something's up.
Yes. Yes.
Like, Miss
Um,
Annie, who is this yet? I don't know. Yeah.
so you had uh, Eddie Garcia is is this guy that worked for the hotel. He was the boss.
Mhm.
But a woman that worked for Diddy, Christina Coram, her name comes up a lot. She talked to this guy and said, "Hey, this video that we all saw, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need that video."
Yeah.
And he was like debating about it, I guess. And Diddy got on the line himself, which now we got a problem for Diddy. And he said, "Hey, well, I'll give you $100,000 for this tape."
Yeah.
He ended up talking to his boss to get the tape. The boss got 50,000. An associate who heard about this got 20,000. This dude Eddie got 30,000 himself. He's the one who shows up at Diddy's room and exchanges the money with Diddy. Diddy counts out $100,000 through a machine, puts in a brown bag, gives it to him, and the brown bag, and goes, "Do you want to count it?" And quote Eddie said, "I'll trust the machine." You also said Diddy goes, "This could ruin my career." So all this shit comes up. And then later, time goes by, and Diddy says, "Hey, just calling you on Easter and saying, hey, happy Easter. Oh, while we're talking, that was the only copy of the tape, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, anyway, just saying, happy Easter. Take care of yourself." And Cassie wasn't going to go public even then because she had a movie coming out and didn't want that to taint it and look funny.
Yeah.
But then the tape did come out, and she's like, "Well, now I'm suing for 20 million." And then I brought this up before. Did he pay 20 million? And now there's a criminal case as opposed to that civil case. And I wonder if Diddy's like, "Well, I didn't know that. You can still sue me. That's different. Why didn't nobody tell me that's fucking different?" So $20 million, and I still got to do this bullshit. God
Yep.
damn it.
That's karma.
Good for
That's
her.
karma, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
good for her. So then there's bribes. There's, you get into bribery, you get into tax evasion, taxes on this. The whole thing's illegal. How can there be fucking taxes? They have proof that like literal receipts, wire transfer, where he said to Cassie's mom, it's Cassie, right? I'm saying this
Yes.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
That to Cassie's mom, hey, she's being
What if I
she's
lied to you, Keith, and I was like, it's casse? And then going forward, you say casse, and
right.
everybody's like, what the fuck are you saying, Keith?
And said to Cassie's mom, Cassie's giving me hassle. It's costing me a lot of fucking money, and you have to pay me $20,000. Something bad's gonna happen. The mom sent it. He later sent the money back. I think that's just a big power play to say, look what I can make any of you do. But here, keep the money. That's on record now, which of course is bad. Somebody named Jane, she was raped, and says it happened on this day. And the defense lawyer said, well, on that day, he happened to be in LA for some kind of bad boy reunion. So how could he be or he was in New York for a bad boy reunion. How could he be in LA and rape you? You sure it happened? And she's like, yeah, it definitely happened. Well, how could it have happened? Oh, I don't know. He might have jets.
Yeah.
He might find a way. And
Imagine
she
that
doesn't
was-
know. She's like, I don't know about this fucking reunion. I know what was happening to me.
It would have been real interesting if that like testimony like revealed that Diddy is a time jumper.
Right.
He's like, not only are we dealing with one of the worst people on the planet, but he's also a mutant.
And you know what? So the women tell all these stories where, yeah, he raped them, but also a big thing is that he would make them fuck a prostitute,
Yes,
and he'd be
yeah.
in the corner whacking off. I'd be scared if I was one of the prostitutes. Like, you're not going to get weird and jealous all of a sudden. You're a totally normal, calm dude that's just freaky.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
I'd be shitting myself. This woman Jane was with an escort. The guy's name was Don, Don. He's looking for a condom, and Diddy goes, "No, you're taking that dick. You're taking it raw." So yeah, they're probably scared too.
Yeah.
However they got there, they thought they were there for a regular party. I don't fucking know.
It's a crazy situation. Bro.
Yeah, one juror was dismissed because it looked like he lied to be on the case, to be on the jury, and he wanted it too bad. They asked too badly. They asked him, like, where do you live? One time he said Brooklyn. Another time he said he's staying with somebody in Queens. They thought, like, you're not being on the up and up, so you're dismissed. But man, I would have tried so fucking hard to be on this. Like, do you care about this case? I don't know. I could take it or leave it. I'm going to need all the facts, but I also have work. So, what do you do for a living? Not something that would make me want to write a book about this. That's for fucking sure. I don't know. It's what it is. It's like, am I a jealous guy? I don't know the right amount. So, anyways, yeah, okay. It's another case. Oh, well. I've been watching ABC News cover this, and it's funny how, I don't know, did they not know how big this case was going to get? Because when they started, they'd bring in like experts to say what's going on, because this isn't televised. We just have to go by reporters' words. And they're like in curlers and fucking pajamas. Then it gets to like the second week, and they obviously have a stylist, and everything's mismatched butt matching at the same time, and hair's flowing like there's a fan on them. And I'm like,
It's called modern.
it's called what?
It's called modern fashion. Okay?
That's right. Well, they found it. They found it somehow. And of course, the defense keeps looking for different reasons for a mistrial, but can't seem to find it.
They're like, please, just let us cancel this.
How about that one guy that lied about the jury being on the jury? It's like, yeah, we found a different guy. Oh, okay. I leaked something to the press, and that's not allowed. Well, stop doing that.
There's
Okay.
definitely been at least one bribery attempt at the judge. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Judge, were you ever bribed maybe last night in the dark alley? Did somebody say something? Because we should probably dismiss this. Brendan Paul is a ex-basketball player. He was assistant for Diddy. He was found with cocaine on a plane, 0.7 grams, so not a whole lot. And
Enough for a good time, though.
What's that?
Enough for a good time, though.
Enough for a good time. And they said, hey, who's this for? And at the time he said Diddy. And so that's coming up now as part of a plea deal.
Imagine that's the one thing that's completely unrelated to the case. The guy just had a lot of cocaine and got caught.
Right.
Who's that for? Diddy. You gonna let me go now, right?
It's this will be a thing later. I have so I just
That's
said
so
Diddy
fucking
now.
funny. I feel like it is. It's unrelated. Diddy's like, I'm gonna charge for cocaine too.
He said that he had wild king nights. I know one of the women had called it hotel nights, and then other people, of course, called it freak offs. Whatever happened to branding? How do you
Freak off
expect
is
this?
the brand.
What freak offs, wild king nights, hotel nights? It's all the same thing.
Oh, I got
boy.
a question for you about freaking.
Yes.
And when you were in middle school, right? And
Uh-huh.
it's like not slow dancing, but like when you're dry humping on the dance floor.
Sure.
What did you call it growing up? Because we called it freak dancing, but what did you call it?
Free or freak?
Freak dance.
I called it the greatest night of my life. Try humping,
That's what y'all called it.
or
Actually,
maybe grinding, maybe.
okay. I was just curious.
But no, we didn't find it so fucking freaky that we were all trying to do it.
Freak dance.
It's funny though. We called it daggering.
Okay. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the catch up, the catching up on that. If you are, of course, you need help with the National Sexual Assault Hotline. I'll give it out before that gets taken away. 1-800-656-4673. If you're thinking about getting help, finding a way out, now's the time to do it before Trump takes that number away. 1-800-656-4673. We should have the verdict soon. Nothing, no big witnesses per se. It's all the same shit that's been going on lately, it seems. But yeah, man, after seeing that video alone, that we talked about some time ago, that to me is death penalty for real. That right there. Mm-hmm. And they're not even going for that. They're going for a RICO case. They're going for he's a fucking conglomerate that's, like the mob. Yeah. And he is. And good, but yeah, they don't want to fuck around with anything that could be misconstrued, it seems.
To be fair, he did call his record label Bad Boy.
That is a problem.
He told us from the beginning.
He regrets
that.
Us from the beginning. He regrets that. All right, let's do a speed round of movies, if you please. A Minecraft movie, you saw it, you give it a medium popcorn.
Right.
Now, movie reviews being your job.
Yes.
Do you have to see everything? Did you have to see Love Hurts?
I did see Love Hurts.
I didn't last 8 minutes.
It was a painful watch. It's mostly painful because we have 2 Oscar winners in a terrible, terrible movie with no chemistry. Right. Ariana DeBose has one of the most confounding post-Oscar careers I've ever seen. I don't know who her team is, but she's doing dog shit.
I got to he's having a fight, but he also wants to protect some realtor award that he got.
Yes. Yeah.
What? You're fighting to the death, though, in your office, but the plaque is very important to you.
And the fight looks so fake. It was bad.
It's so fake. I'm on my phone where there's a fight on from the guy from Indiana Jones and everywhere all the time. Yeah.
Everything all the time.
Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Thoughts?
Way too long.
I was
way too long,
bored.
And too much exposition to catch up people that haven't watched the whole series. Like, hey, if they didn't do the homework time, fuck them.
Do your work. It's like the Marvel movies. Do your work or don't. If you don't get something, then you don't get something.
This is my biggest defense though for the whole fucking movie. And Rod's like, it's a good movie, and the possibles, the Mission's Impossible. That's what makes it great. Blah blah blah. I hear you, Rod. But my biggest issue with this movie, climactic battle, and mind you, they're like showing us flashbacks from the very first one all the way to this one, right? And I've seen every one of these movies in the theater. How are you not, during the climactic plane scene, going to kick in that fucking theme song? That was insane. Like he's upside down in a propeller
because the song is only so long. There's a timer on a bomb that was like 1 minute, but you're watching this plane ride for 30 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, you know what I mean, Keith?
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first movie, The Helicopter, and I was like, I remember being in 1996, this is awesome. And then you're showing me this scene, and I'm like, there's something missing. Oh, yeah, the great theme song.
I was so bored by the plane. I was so bored by the underwater thing because he's swimming underwater, but you think he's not going to get enough
That
oxygen.
was
Everything
crazy.
that goes wrong can go wrong goes wrong. But I'm like, he's not going to just drown in the water. Like,
That'd be awesome
I'm
though.
so goofy. I'm not convinced he won't die. That'd be
Yeah.
fucking cool. But that'd be saving the world. He eats the fucking bomb. But he's not going to slowly just drown. You'll be like, that's it. So I didn't give a fuck about the submarine scene, and it lasted for way too long.
Did you feel like this movie they were doing like they were trying to do their own version of what Bond did, but like they didn't like they copped out the last minute and didn't kill him?
I see that.
You know
Maybe.
what I mean? Like because I think that was one of the coolest things about No Time to Die.
Yeah.
I
There
was like,
was time.
oh, yeah.
Turns out there was
I
time
remember
to
like the
die.
last 5 minutes. I'm like, I was at a press screening. I'm looking at all these crazy. I'm like, are they about to do what they've never done before? Because that is awesome.
Does he annoy you, Tom Cruise, in that I hate him in interviews? He really thinks he's the shit. And of course, it's Tom Cruise, but
Yeah.
man, he really keeps shoving in our face that he's the greatest action star and that these aren't stunts, that it's real. And it's like, then you would show us more. You're telling me he does stunts better than Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan is fucked up, but not Tom Cruise.
Yeah, because he has Scientology on his side. It does magical healing powers.
Right. So like, and he makes people really think like he climbed a building with one hand. I'm like, no, that's impossible. And they wouldn't, no pun, and they wouldn't let him. He rubs me wrong, and I was very surprised that I actually liked, and I didn't see the others, but I did see this last Final Destination, and I liked that better.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was
right?
awesome. It had no business being as good as it was.
You're right. And I'm
was so
still
much
not
fun.
going to see the other ones, but yeah, you're right.
That's fine, actually. But I will say the one before this one, the Bloodlines one, great ending. Do you know what happens?
Go tell me. I mean, I saw it.
Okay, so at the begin, like at the very end, you don't realize like that this actually is like taking place in like the late '90s.
Okay.
Because like there's not too much technology shown. So at the end, the main character and his girlfriend are on a plane going to Paris, and it's the plane from the very first movie. And so
Okay.
you see Alice get kicked off before it actually explodes. It was really cool.
Okay.
The movie before that was terrible, but
Gotcha.
Bloodlines is great actually.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let me look real quick. Let's see. Tom Cruise can die in a fucking ditch. I wouldn't care. The Accountant. You saw the Accountant movies?
Yes, I did. Yep.
He kills people with protractors and P&L statements. He shoots somebody in the face and says, "You're overdrawn." Killed somebody with 1,000 paper cuts. You know what's funny about action movies is when, first of all, this happened in Miss. Do you have another minute? Be honest.
Yeah.
So in action movies, it's funny that like Tom Cruise looks like he's about to die 80 fucking times, right? And he last minute, he's always okay. But when they want another character to die, they get punched in the face, and everybody else is like, he's definitely dead. Moving on. Really?
Yep.
You can't punch the chest once?
Tom Cruise is the great white hope, Keith. Come on.
Right.
Now.
Like even in The Accountant, the action movie, you could take a hacksaw to the face and a hot poker up the asshole, and you're like, oh, excuse me, that was rough. Or somebody bitch slaps you just the right way that your head explodes.
You're just done, yeah.
Kind of interesting. There was the movie The Accountant 2, and then also I saw The Amateur with Rami Malek.
Yeah.
And
it was fine.
it's fine. I wonder if people got confused what movie they're seeing. You're seeing an autistic person in both, and they kill.
The trailer definitely made it seem more like Jason Bourne-ish than it was. It was way slower, way quieter.
The description starts, Rami Malek is a brilliant but deeply introverted decoder for the CIA. Yeah. It's funny, like whenever they started writing this, it's like, we can't use that word anymore. Really? Okay. Well, Asperger's isn't offensive. We don't use that anymore. What? Deeply introverted, like really deeply. Yeah. If you get what I'm trying to say. Like real troubles talking to people.
And he has a hot-ass wife, Rachel Brosnahan. That was insane.
Right.
I was like, Mrs. Maisel's your wife? Come on, buddy. You have no personality. Not because he's on a spectrum, but the character had no personality.
That's right.
I'm like, you're not getting her. Hope so.
Anyway, if you suffer from knowing an autistic person, the toll free number is 1-800. All right, here's what you want to do. You want to get the podcast medium popcorn.
Yes.
If you have a chance to see Brandon live, whether he's doing stand up or he's doing Drunk Black History, you wanna check that out for sure. And this weekend, he's going to be producing his buddy Chris Lambert's stand up special on the 27th in New York City.
Yep.
What else should the audience know?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Frodo_Blackens.
There you go. There you go. It's good talking to you. And
great talking to you, Keith.
Again, now that Kenza's not here, we're going to yap more often. All right.
All right.
All right. Love you, man. Thanks for your time.
Peace.
Peace.